Hare Krishna devotees. So today is the last one chapter, 17th chapter. So let's start off with Mangalacharan. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Murandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshuritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadatikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Deshika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Te Devi Pranamani Haripriye Panchakalpata Rupyascha Kripya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Adhara Shivatsati Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. So let's start. Ready? Okay. Yes. So it's called the divisions of faith, and we've already seen a hint of his name, right? Uttamadhikari. Yes, Anuja, you can read Hare Krishna. Uttamadhikari. A lot of other things which we keep hearing now and then. So today, they will talk about faith and how the faith is divided, right? It's called Shraddha means faith. Shradhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So this is what we are going to see. And as usual, it starts off with Arjuna's inquiry, right? What is Arjuna's inquiry here? Arjuna is inquiring about unauthorized work, right? A Shastra within Uttrishya. So, we will come across many people and many cases where, you feel and experience these kind of unauthorized worship. And Krishna is going to answer the three modes determine one's faith and worship. 2 to 7. Vidya Bhavati Shraddha. Food in three modes. 7.8 to 10. Ayu Sattva Bala Roga. Yeah. Right? So how does the food, in the three modes have an impact? So this is going to be talking about food, sacrifices, austerity, right? Three kinds of austerity, and austerity in the three modes and charity in three modes. So that's what will be explained here. So 17.8 to 10. Balarogya, I told, which is foods. And 11 to 13 is Apala, Kam, Shibir, Yagno, right? Sacrifices in the three modes. Pujanam, Saucham, Arjavam is the three austerity. The next one is Pidaya Kriyate Tapaha. Austerity three modes again between 17 to 19. Deshe Kalecha Patrecha. So charity again in three modes, right? So we have seen the three, the right? Om Tat Sat. Iti Nirdesho, right? What does it mean? Om Tat Sat, sacrifice, charity, and austerity should be always offered to Supreme. So these are, in fact, he will tell why is it to be offered and whether it should ever be stopped. And he will conclude by saying it should never be stopped, irrespective of whatever it is. So we will get into the first thing with Arjuna as usual inquiring. Hare Krishna. Yes, Arjuna, Hare Krishna.
Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what is the situation of one who does not follow the principles of scriptures but worships according to his own imagination? Is he goodness in passion or in ignorance?" Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right? So this is very funny thing wherein somebody follows their own rules, right? There is no specific rules, right? They follow their own rules, they follow their own thing, and they still claim that they are all bhakti mans. Is that going to be there? Is what Krishna is saying. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Taivida Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam sa swabhavaja satviki rajasi chaiva tamasi cheti tam shrinyu. Hare Krishna.
The
Hare Krishna.
Supreme Lord
The
said,
Supreme Lord
according to the
said,
modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be of three kinds: goodness, passion, or ignorance. Now, hear about this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what are they saying? They're telling there are, obviously we all know three modes, right? We know mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, right? Now he is telling that according to the modes of nature, right? One of this which you would have got a body, right? So a particular body, whether it's human or animal, you will be having one of these modes. So let's talk about, here, if you see the picture here, you have, a rajas quality, a karma yogi uses his body, right? And he starts serving Krishna. And he goes to Swargalok by doing that. And also a jnani aims at the Brahmajyoti, right? And he will be at a Sattva. But both of them eventually are thinking of targeting, Swargaloka or Brahmajyoti. So what is our original target? We saw that bhakti, going to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So who does that? It's a Vaishnava, right? It's a Bhakta, right? So he will be in the state of Suddha Sattva. So he goes via bhakti and goes to prema stage and finally reaches Krishna. So Karma Yogi serves with the body and Jnana Yogi serves with the mind, right? And still, eventually, they all land at a place which is much lower. So that is what is explained in 17.2. Hare Krishna 17.3.
Hare Krishna.
According
According
to
to
one's
one's existence,
under the
under the
various
various
modes
modes
of
of
nature,
nature,
one involves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be a particular faith. According to the modes he has acquired. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. According to one's existence, various modes of nature, one involves a particular kind of faith, right? So according to one's existence, whether he is, whichever nature he is, he gets a faith, right? Now, the modes do have a play in deciding the particular faith. Example, if someone is born in a Brahmana family, then the tendency is that the person will have the tendency to do a lot of bhakti, right, among the Brahmins. Why is it so? Because they, from a very young age, they are born in the transcendental family, right? So their knowledge of transcendence, their knowledge on Krishna, their exposure to Krishna will all be higher. So therefore, their reason to be praying God will be more. It's not about whether it's right or wrong. It's about what is the access they have, and they'll have more access to Krishna. Therefore, that faith also becomes unalloyed, right? So that is what they are talking about. Hare Krishna. Yajante satvika devan yakshak sakshami rajasah pretan bhuta ganam chainye yajante tamasa janah. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Men in the
Krishna.
mode of goodness worship the demigod. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Hare Krishna.
So men in the mode of goodness, right? Whoever is in the mode of goodness, what do? They pray the demigod. We'll be thinking, Hare, men in the mode of goodness should be working Krishna. Yes, they will slowly elevate there, but they will start. So anyone who pays devatas are all in the mode of goodness. However, those who are in the mode of passion, right? They will worship demons. If you take, we can also talk about, people who are doing the jing bang to the politicians or all. Why? Because they want some opportunity, right? They want to get something out of them. So they're all in the mode of passion. And those who are in the mode of ignorance, right? They are into, you all would have learned or heard, if not learned, about things like black magic or ghost or, those kind of things. So they are those who are in the mode of ignorance, right? So that's what he is talking. So you can see here the picture. The first picture, all the Devada worshippers are there. But all this black magic, they look like Buras, very horrible looking. So that's a challenge. Hare Krishna. 75 and 6.
Yes, sorry. Those who undergo severe austerities and penances not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride, egoism, lust, and attachment, who are impelled by passion, and who torture their body organs as well as the super soul dwelling within are to be known as demons. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what are they telling? Those who are having severe austerities and penances, right? The one in the picture, besides that, you also can you see the picture on the right hand side top? Can someone
Yes.
tell me who it is? On the extreme right side top, can you tell me whose picture it is? It's become skeleton. He's Hiranyakashipu. So he did a lot of austerities, and the one down is Ravana because you can make out from his head. So they did a lot of austerities which are not prescribed at all. So a lot of austerities which we are talking about, spoiling your own body and creating pain to the body. Example, walking in fire, or these are all tamas related. These are all things which are not prescribed in any scriptures. People may be following for years, but something does not justify the fact that it is right. Today, latest medicine tell that the child, when you feed a small child, 3 months or 4 months, they say you should not keep the child lying in this angle. It should always be tilted, right, in an escalated angle. If a mother or grandmother or great grandmother said, no, we are used to having the child sleeping position. So what? That's stupidity, right? You'll tell, hey, you've done it. Doesn't mean that it's the right thing. Please learn when they say things are wrong. Same way, you all may ask me, no, Mataji, there are so many places where they do so many things. Maybe they're doing it as a habit because we all follow ancestors, but where it got corroded, we don't know. Where it got diluted also, we don't know. So therefore, these are not recommended in Shastras. So whatever is not recommended in Shastras, will follow. So these are the things. So they're torturing a body organ as well as super soul. Why? Because the super soul dwells inside. And this body does not belong to us. This body belongs to Krishna. So we do not have the right. And we have an ego telling that, no, this is my body. I have the right to do whatever. No, we do not have the right to do whatever because it's our body. Hare Krishna, on to 17.8. And just 1 second. Vijay Mataji, I need one help. 7 o'clock, Dhaneshwari Mataji said she may not be taking class. I'll ping you. If you can read both Shloka as well as Tamil. I can't read in Tamil.
Yes, Mataji.
Sure.
Today or tomorrow, Mataji?
Today.
Okay, Mataji. I will come, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, thanks. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Ma.
Yes. Foods in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purifies one's existence, and gives strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such nourishing foods are sweet, juicy, fattening, and palatable. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, pungent, dry, and hot are liked by people in the modes of passion. Such foods cause pain, distress, and disease. Food cooked more than 3 hours before being eaten, which is tasteless, putrid, decomposed, and unclean, is food liked by people in the mode of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we are just going to have a very look of the picture, and I'm not getting to the details also. The first picture, in a green leaf, whatever is served, it looks beautiful, right? Just the very look of it looks very beautiful. So that is sattvic. Not just because it looks beautiful, it's just not good for the eyes alone, but it's also great for the stomach. So it's very fatty, but it's very palatable and it's very nourishing. Right? The second one is with the chili in the tongue. What can you think of? Andhra food, right? So I speak Telugu, and I would even rate Punjabi food in the same style. So if there are any Punjabis here, you can tell, it's spicy. As you keep eating, your eyes are like watering, and you continue to eat more, you feel like you want to, take a quick restroom break. So it's like really burning. To pacify the spice, they add a cup of ghee. Why do you have to do so much? Because what they say, if you don't do that, you will have an ulcer. So most of the time, the mode of passion creates a lot of distress or diseases subsequently. The third one, you see these worms are yucky, and these worms are not visible to our natural eyes initially. But sometimes for another day, you will start seeing them also. So more than 3 hours, except if it's a prasad, becomes unclean, and therefore the food liked by the people generally are in the mode of ignorance. Right? But if you see, most of the time, if you are in the first diet, people have the tendency to ask, hey, what's wrong with you? Yeah, you're taking such a bland food. And I've personally experienced, right? So when I've traveled abroad and when I come back here, my food becomes even more bland. The first thing in the house also, what's wrong with you? You're so bland. There is no taste in the food. But actually there's taste. But what they relate to taste is the middle one. They want the spice one. Right? So that's how they relate. the examples. Now let's move to the next 17.11. Hare Krishna.
Of sacrifices that sacrifice performed according to the duty and to scriptural rules and with no expectation of reward is of the nature of goodness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So they are talking about the sacrifice performed according to the duty. So whatever, for example, that is what we do, right? We take Japamala and chant. Nobody tells us we have to do it. Do it. And it is also mentioned in the scriptures, right? And with no expectation of reward. Such is called the nature of goodness, right? So such is a beautiful nature of goodness. And the sacrifice performed according to that. Why? Because you don't expect anything. Many of you have started chanting. You don't tell, I'm going to chant one extra round, will I get 5 marks extra? Right? Plan that way? No, right? So that's what makes a difference. So this is a sacrifice when you do based without a expectation. Do for the pleasure of abroad. Hare Krishna.
But that
17.1.
Yes. But that sacrifice performed for some material end or benefit or performed ostentatiously out of pride is of the nature of passion, O chief of Bhratas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what they say, the sacrifice performed for some material end. Right? So a sacrifice done for anything materialistically, right? You have the tendency to do any sacrifice with the intention of having a barter system. We read in 4th chapter also, right? We have this concept where people want to sacrifice a material possession to get more, right? People do yagna, they will give, they will sacrifice, like they'll put in fire even dresses and all that because they have a particular expectation, and more than expectation, it's out of pride. I'm doing such a big puja. You across a lot of places where they do, hey, I do this particular Varalakshmi puja and I invite a lot of neighbors, and they really want to show off. There may be genuinency also, but there's also this, right? So that comes from mode of passion. I give a donation and, you stick that to it as well. So that mode of passion. And 17.13, Hare Krishna.
And that sacrifice performed in defiance of scriptural injunctions in which no spiritual food is disturbed, no hymns are chanted, and no rememorations are made to the Christ, and which is faithless, that sacrifice is of nature of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
So what are they telling? They're talking about, can anyone guess what is this? Who is it? Shiva, don't tell me. I know you know. Who is this?
Mahadev, Shiv.
Yeah, Shiv is fine. Who's the person whom he is giving benediction to? Bhashmasura. So what is speciality of that fellow, of that person is, he takes a benediction from Shiva that on whosoever head he places the hand, the person will become Bhasma, ashes, right? And he finally is interested in Shiva's wife, because she's very beautiful, Parvati, and he wanted to try this on Shiva and do this. Even who's around us, we won't like it, right? Forget about devotee or things. So somebody, just imagine, take something from us and uses behind us or misuses it against us. What kind of a feeling we'll have about the person? We'll feel the person is the most horrible person in our entire world, right? So that is exactly the kind of feeling Shiva should be having. But Shiva is such a liberal soul that even with ignorant people, he offers benedictions and gets himself into trouble. So such people are supposed to be Vedic, in mode of ignorance. Also, any procedure which is done where food is not distributed, Vedic hymns are not, chanted, and there is no remuneration for the person who's doing. Okay, and you do without faith, all 4 will come under this category. So you will see, many places where they do and they send off. That is why even if it's a normal birthday, there is a strong belief that we should, whoever comes home, we have to give them stomach full. It is not because they are empty stomach or they don't have food, but it will come under one of these sacrifices. Hare Krishna. Because normally we keep it before Krishna and serve it as prasad.
Yes.
Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Saucham Arjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsacha Shariram Tapa Vichyate. Hare Krishna.
The austerity of the body consists in this: worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and the superiors like the father and the mother. Cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence are also austerities of the body. Hare Krishna.
So what are you telling? Austerity. Now, we finished sacrifice, we're moving to austerity. He's talking about consist of worshipping the Supreme Lord. So you can make out worshipping not only Krishna, the Brahmins, the spiritual master, and superiors like the father, mother. Right? So, and they also talk about cleanliness, which we saw in the 6th chapter, Yama, Niyama, both internal and external one. Simplicity is how honest you are, right? You even disclose, the truth right to your enemy. Celibacy, you all know, is being single, bachelorship, and non-violence. And when we are talking about ahimsa, non-violence, it is not violently attacking someone. Even mentally thinking violently about someone causes impact, right? So that's what they are talking about. Hare Krishna. And Maharaj Yudhishthira is an example of simplicity. Hare Krishna. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyashanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate.
Austerity of the speech consists in speaking truthfully and beneficially, and in avoiding speeches that offends. One should also recite the Vedas regularly. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what are they telling? Austerity of speech, right? Talks about speaking truly, right? And beneficially. So what's the point in talking something which is going to be painful? Example, somebody comes to you and tells that, my son got or my daughter got 80%. Okay, you should tell, okay, very good, that's enough, right? Avoid something which offends. For example, even if you're going to talk the truth, you don't have to tell, oh, really, 80%, but my maid daughter also got 85%. Is it required? Right? You're not lying, you're telling a fact, but is it relevant in the context? Not required, right? So the best thing is you talk things which are relevant and limited, right? One should also recite the Vedas in a limited fashion. So that's what he's talking about. Hare Krishna. Anudvegakaram vakyam. This is what.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. So I on to 17.16. Hare Krishna.
And the serenity, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purity of thought are the austerities of the mind. Hare Krishna.
So serenity, simplicity, gravity, a lot of things, right? These are austerities of the mind. So these are very important because they have to be continued. This is what he will say. Now, can anyone tell the picture, this particular picture, who is the boy who is naked and who is the person who's running after the boy?
Prahlad.
Prahlad is a very small boy, 5-year. This boy is not 5-year. This boy is like a 16-year boy.
Krishna?
No. Many of them actually, you're quite right. Many get confused with this picture as Krishna. Many times. Maybe because of the bluish tinge on the body, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is Sukha. The whole Bhagavatam story was told to Parikshit by Sukadev. And Sukha was in the womb of the mother for 16 years. And Krishna requests him to come. Remember, we saw in the 7th chapter, 4th picture, where the mother is pregnant and she's carrying, 3rd picture, I think, the child, and Krishna tells, come out, and his father is Vyasa, who's running behind him.
Yes.
Now what happens is Krishna gives him the confidence, telling that, hey, don't worry, even if you're born, you will be a jnani, you will not have a materialistic propensity. The moment he is born, he just runs. Now what happens is these are some teenage girls who are taking bath semi-naked, and they have no impact with Sukha, even though he was a teenage boy, because what they felt is Sukha is like a child. They felt that he really didn't see bodily differences, even though Vyasa is more elevated and he is Krishna himself. But he was a grahastha. He had a married life, and so he knows the difference between a man and a woman. And therefore, the moment the young boy, 16-year boy, was running naked, they never bothered to cover themselves. But the moment Vyasa came, they all quickly, got themselves dressed. So that is what they are talking about. Hare Krishna. 17.17. Shradhaya paraya taptam tapastatrividham narai aphalakankshi viryuktai satikam parichakshate. Hare Krishna.
These threefold austerity practiced by men whose aim is not to benefit themselves materially but to please the Supreme is one of the nature of goodness. Hare Krishna.
So very clearly, what they are telling is Shradhaya, right? So confidence is very important, and in the tapas. So you can see all of this. The first one is called the big Vrindavan. When you mean by parikrama, it means going around, right? And Govardhan parikrama is people go around Govardhan hill. I think it's about 20 kilometers approximately. And Mayapur parikrama, we all went recently in the month of October. So these are like spiritual tours which you go and you go around, right? These are threefold austerities, and the aim is not to benefit materially, but to please Krishna, right? So you don't tell, oh Krishna, I do one parikrama, and then, will you give me a couple of lakh rupee? No. Nor that will you give me advance. You'll ask for advancement, spiritual life, definitely, because the aim is to go to Krishna, and that makes him happy. Hare Krishna. 17.18. Satkaramana pujartham tapodambena chaivayat kriyate tat iha poktam rajasam chalam adruvam. Hare Krishna.
Those ostentatious penances and austerities which are performed in order to gain respect, honor, and reverence are said to be in the mode of passion. They are neither stable nor permanent. Hare Krishna.
Ostentatious penances and austerities which are performed in order to gain respect, right? Many people do all these austerities for the name, fame, and this we already saw is in the mode of passion. They are not stable nor permanent, because if they are not getting the name, they wouldn't want to do it. So they need to have that linked to that. Hare Krishna. Muda grahenatmanatyat pidaya kriyate tapah parasyotsādanārtam va tattamasam uda vrittam. Hare Krishna.
And those penances and austerities which are performed foolishly by means of obstinate self-torture or to destroy or injure others are said to be in the mode of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
We already saw, if somebody is trying to do self-torture, right? That's the most weirdest thing. You wouldn't want to do a self-torture or injure someone. And it is not anywhere recommended, anywhere in the Shastras. And when we say austerities, even in terms of self-torture, many people believe doing this is the great thing. And, but you are actually doing harm to yourself without having rights to, right? Hare Krishna. And now they're talking about dhanam, right? Dhanam means charity. And many people think dharma is dhanam, which is not. Dharma is different. Dharma means nature, right? What is my dharma? What is the dharma of a sugar, sweet? Dharma of a chili, to be spicy. What is our dharma? That we are part and parcels of Krishna. Right? So that's our dharma, not dharmam. That's not dharma. It's called dhanam. Hare Krishna. Datavyam iti yad dhanam diyate anupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha tadhanam satvikam smritam. Hare Krishna.
That gift which is given out of duty at the proper time and place to a worthy person and without expectation of return is considered to be charity in the mode of goodness. Hare Krishna.
So first thing is time, place, right? You have to see the time and place and the person worthy of it without an expectation, right? You'll be thinking, Mataji, where do people have expectation in charity? No, they are, which we are going to see. Now we are seeing mode of goodness. And this is an example of Krishna's Janmashtami and Nand Maharaj every year. So we have a different style, right? During our birthdays, we tell, give me gift, give me gift. But those days during birthdays, they never used to give gifts. They used to give charity. Nand Maharaj used to give 1 lakh cows. And what was special about the 1 lakh cows is they are not just cows. They used to be all decked in jewelry. So beautiful looking cows. They were being given in charity. And what is special about that is that, so that used to be the thing. And they used to see place and they used to give it to Brahmanas who deserve it. It's not random. And the same picture is visible in visuals. Hare Krishna. Yattu pratyupakarartham palam uddishya va punaha diyate cha pariklishtam tadhanam rajasam smritam. Hare Krishna.
But charity performed with the expectation of some return or with a desire of for fruitive results or in a grudging mood is said to be charity in the mode of passion. Hare Krishna.
So beautifully is telling any charity done, right, with expectation of some return. Okay, now this is a classic example, and I remember during floods in Chennai, which was, I think, few months before, in the apartment, we all decided we will make some common item, right? And I mean, two common items so that we will pool everything together. There were few who came forward, and we decided we'll make idlis and blah blah, sambar and all that. And we made all that, and few of us, we had a common vessel in the apartment, huge vessels which we kept in the clubhouse, and we dropped it there. So in the process, there were few people who came for a stroll in the morning to see how floods had affected, how general stroll. And very funny thing, they were not even contributing, but they were just taking selfie before these huge idli vessels, right? So I was wondering, this is one more extreme. So I don't know which mode they will come under. They are neither contributing nor are they doing, but they're all like taking selfies. And I'm sure this is not for their record, but this is for publicity in Facebook, which they did without even contributing, right? And now think of yourself. Just assume that you are in a situation where you can't pay your college fees and one of your friend is paying. You'll feel very happy about it. But the fact is, if she puts a selfie and uploads her Facebook telling that she's a friend of mine and she can't afford college fees and I've sponsored for her, how do you feel? Already asking charity itself is very traumatizing, right? It's not a very happy thing. Oh, give me, I don't have food, can I beg? It's not that, right? It's painful. This fellow has to provide for his wife and children, and already is in a very depressed mood. On top of it, this joker is taking a selfie. Just imagine how they will still give a post, but isn't that very humiliating, right? So
Yes.
so because see, everybody has something called the self-esteem. There is a false ego, there is self-esteem all within. Right or wrong, we'll not debate, but the fact of it is you're playing on that, and they don't have a choice. They have to, because they're expecting that cover, right? And they know if they restrict, they're not going to get that cover. So this is, not a very nice practice mode of Hare Krishna. 17.22 Adesha kale yaddanam apatrebhyasya diyate asatkritam avajnatam tattamasam udahrintam.
And the charity performed at improper place and time and given to unworthy persons without respect and with contempt is charity in the mood of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
So very clearly, wrong time. This fellow is also asking for charity, but should we help? He says, I need money, please help me. But for what? For a drug or a dope, right? So this is improper place, time, and person, not worthy of it. So such a charity is something which you should not even think of. From the beginning of the creation, the seed syllable Om Tat Sat have been used to indicate the supreme absolute truth Brahman. Right? So why is it spoken, and what is the speciality of Om? I'm going to tell. You can continue. Hare Krishna.
From the beginning of creation, the three syllables on Om Tat Sat have been used to indicate the supreme absolute truth Brahman. They were uttered by Brahmanas while chanting Vedic hymns and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of Supreme. Hare Krishna.
So Om. So anything starts with Om. If you see Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, it's Om. Now Om Suklam Bharadhanam Vishnum Sashivaradam Sadur Pujam Prasanna Varadam Dhyaye, that also is Om. Now you take anything, Om Namah Shivaya, Om, right? Anything you tell. Why? Because O represents Krishna, M. It's basically spelled as even AUM, where A talk about Krishna, M talks about Radharani, and U is us, Jivatma. Now, why are we starting that? So that is what he says. Represents the words represent the supreme absolute truth. And what is Tat and Sat? We are going to see now shortly. This is the same thing, right? This is the Om for all sacrifices. Everywhere, you will see Om Tat Sat. And, we are going to see in particular the depth of it. You can go ahead and read 17.24. Hare Krishna.
Thus, the transcendentalists undertake sacrifices, charities, and penances, beginning always with Om to attain the Supreme. Om means Vishnu. It is placed at the beginning of Vedic hymns to indicate the Supreme goal. Hare Krishna.
So he clearly says, thus transcendentalists undertake sacrifices, charity and penances, beginning always with the word Om, which we just saw, right? And Om iti etat brahmanyo nedi no ha nama. Okay, at Veda. Om means actually Vishnu and it is placed at the beginning, which we just discussed. And now let's go to Om Tat Sat, right? We're going to see Tat now, 17.25. Hare Krishna.
One should perform sacrifice, penances, and charity with the word tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from the material entanglement. Tat tat tvasim asi. That describe detached work for the sake of liberation. These activities are done with disregard for material result. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So one should perform sacrifice, penance, charity, everything with that word, right? And tat means tattvam asi, right? Chandogya Upanishad 6.8.7. That describe detached work for the sake of liberation, right? Because we are saying that talks about detachment from the work. And the activities are done with disregard for material results, right? There is no material results which are expected. So one has to perform all this. So what are they actually talking about? Tat tattvam asi actually means that detaching yourself from the material world, right? And you work only with the focus of liberation. So a person's eye is permanently in the spiritual world and the activities will disregard anything material, right? Material results, they are not bothered. Their target is spiritual. 17.26 and 27 will talk about Sat. Hare Krishna.
The absolute truth is the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word sat. These works of sacrifice, of penances, and of charity, true to absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person, O Son of Pratha, Sad Eva Saumya. Sat means eternal activities done for the service of the Lord, reveal the truth, spiritual nature. In such activity, the performer of action becomes eternal. The activities are aimed at eternal, and the benefits of the activities are eternal. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So very clearly he's telling Sat, right? Sat means Saumya, Chandogya, Upanishad. It says Sat means eternal. So what is eternal? The activities are also eternal. The service for the Lord is also eternal, and the performer actions also become eternal. Why? Because they are all aimed at eternal. So that means they are permanent. So we already have seen this, right? Prapa Punya Kritak Lokan, right? And also Suchiman Srimatan Dege. What does it mean? If even half service done for Krishna consciousness is a permanent credit in the account. Unlike even if you have 1 crore, it's not going to be a permanent credit. So Krishna is telling that you have to take credits of all eternal things. So even if you practice little bit of Krishna consciousness, in the next Janma, it starts from that. Let's say 20% you did last Janma, now you start from 21%. So all of you here in this group, it's not that you just started now, it's all your previous credits. That's why you are able to get this benefit and Shukriti to continue. So that is what he says. It's all 17.28. Hare Krishna.
But sacrifices, austerities, and charities performed without faith in the Supreme are non-permanent. O Son of Pratha, regardless of whatever rites are performed, they are called as asat and are useless both in this life and the next. Hare Krishna.
He says anything done without faith in the Supreme, right? And if you don't have faith, we don't even trust each other as friends. Forget about God. So that becomes asat, which means it's temporary, it's not permanent. And it is useless not only in this life and also in the next life. So he's telling very clearly that anything you do, you have to have trust. And based on your level of trust, you have something called the Uttama who has 100% trust, Madhyama who is at the medium level of trust, and Kanishta people like us who are just starting devotional service. Who's Uttama will generally be spiritual masters because their trust is unflinching. And why do we need a guru? Is to connect the neophyte with the Uttamadhikari so that we can get belief with Krishna easier, faster, and go to Krishna conscious. So this chapter starts with Arjuna asking about unauthorized scriptures. Ye Shastre Vidyam Uchrate, and Krishna answers that the 3 modes determine one's faith and worship. Trivida, Bhavati, Shraddha. The food in modes, sacrifice in mode, 3 kinds of austerity in 3 modes, charity, all are discussed. Om Tat Sat means sacrifice, charity, austerity should be done for the Supreme Krishna. So that is what he concludes. So everything has to be done for Krishna, and always Krishna should be the central focus. This is what they have very clearly highlighted here. So, Hare Hare Krishna, you all have any doubts?
No.
So today, I think since there is no finished all the bridge, so I just thought I'll come and tell you a story of Mrigari. So Mrigari, is a person who is a hunter. Like in Ramayana, you saw Valmiki, right? He is a thief. And then he got spiritualized. Now, Mrigari, something funny about Mrigari is Mrigari will kill animals, but he used to kill them, half. Half means, he will not completely kill them. He will just bleed them to death, right? Which is very unusual. Normally, a horrible person also won't do that. So Narada is on his tour and he asks Mrigari, you're killing, that's one thing, but then why are you killing the animal half? You can see the picture of Mrigari. To Narada, he says, I don't know. This is what my father and grandfather does, and therefore even I do. Now tell me, what mode is this Mrigari in as of now? You've been reading, so if you don't answer, then my teaching is waste.
Ignorance.
Which mode? Mode of goodness, mode of...
Person.
Sorry?
Mode of passion.
Not even passion. He's in mode of ignorance because he does not even know what he's doing is right or wrong, right? He's ignorant. He doesn't do with an aim of... I know why you're getting confused is because of the fact that he's putting efforts. Ignorant guy will be sleeping, but this guy comes under ignorance because he's just blindly following whatever ancestors are telling, which is what I told. Many times they will tell in the temple, you have to do this, you have to do that. We used to follow for generations. Yes, you could follow, but is that the right thing? Is it shared in Shastras?
No.
Exactly. Maybe may not be, but we have to read Shastras so that it's not going to work with our future generation, right? So if we go and tell, hey, I've been doing it, I've been following to your grandfather, the first thing anyone is going to ask us is, okay, fine, you did it. Why should I do? Tell me why. So at least to answer that, we need to know the Vedas, right? So here he was in mode of ignorance and he had no clue what he was doing. And Narada told him that it is, the tone of Narada is so sweet. He doesn't tell you're doing wrong. How can you know? He doesn't pull. Remember in the 4th chapter and the 3rd chapter also, it very clearly highlights, do not stop someone who's even if he's a karma kanti or poor, because they will immediately stop working. So get them to move into Krishna conscious. That's why he says you're killing, okay, but then why are you killing in this fashion? And then after that, what happens is he says that, this is not good. And he says, no, what can I do? I don't know any other profession. My family is dependent on me. He says, Krishna can provide for elephant. They can provide for you and your family. You don't have to worry, they will take care. And after many years, when he is coming, he sees, a sannyasi kind of a person who is limping. And Narada is so impressed, he looks at Mrigari and he asks, hey, Mrigari, what's wrong? Why are you limping? You hurt your leg? He said, no. While coming, I saw some ants. I didn't want to stamp them and kill, so I just limped. So he's like shocked. Oh my God, look at this Mrigari who used to kill somebody half life is now today talking about, injuring an ant. Can you even believe this? So now tell me, right, what mode currently Mrigari is in at this point in time. And you can type in the chat or you can tell. Meanwhile, I'll still go on with the story. And Narada is very confused. He says, how do you think that people can manage? How did your wife and children manage now? He says, my wife and children comfortably managed because of the fact that today they are very happy. And since I gave up, and I came here, the entire place, right, the villagers, whoever are there, feel that I have become a jnani. And you all of us know that if somebody is a jnani, they will automatically do some things. They believe they can get spiritual knowledge. So the entire village is giving them food, clothing, and shelter. And therefore, they are very happy and they are so excited and they thank him and they provide food all 3 times. So that is a speciality. So with this, Mrigari, now can you tell me which mode is he?
Empathy.
Goodness. Goodness.
Okay, and what did you say, Anuja?
Goodness.
So even I thought it's goodness, but he is not in the mode of goodness. He's above the mode called the Suttva Sattva. Remember the first time in the 2nd chapter, Krishna tells Arjuna, Traigunya Vishyo Vego, Nishraigunya Dhavarjuna, Nirvando Nitya Sto Niryoga Kshema Atmavan, which means go above the 3 modes, Arjuna, and that is what is important. So that is exactly what he is talking about, right? He raises above the three modes and becomes Suddha Sattva. Why am I saying this? Is many times you'll be thinking, I'm born in this ignorance, I'm in passion, what can I do? Straight jumping is difficult. It's like double promotion. Let's try slowly one after the other to jump. Having said that, it is not impossible. So somebody like Brigari can change, someone like us can easily try and go. And just a quick 2 minute, I hope you enjoyed the story. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Thank you. And Sri Sri Radha Govinda Temple of Mangalore, and this, he is our founder, Acharya. What am I talking about is the Sunday school. If you have brother, sister, cousins, please get them onboarded here. And he's Prabhupada, founder Acharya, and he is Jayapataka Swami. He is a direct disciple of Prabhupada, and Namanishta Das Prabhu is our temple president. He's conducting this free of cost for age group 6 to 10, one batch, and 11 to 15. Sloka recitation, 18 days class, interactive session, like artwork and all that in all languages, starting from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and separate batches are there, which is your youth batch, which we introduce. So interactive sessions, kids are so excited, they love it. And we also have a lot of artwork, painting competition, Krishna consciousness in a very playful way. Lovely paintings are drawn by the kids. We have a lot of this color, lovely assignments which they do, and also get certificates for chanting during Ekadasi, Janmashtami competition for dressing. Very beautiful kids, right? So all this are happening, and there is no entry charge. It's called the Sunday school. It's only on Sunday. It is not school the way you think. They will really enjoy. Besides this, you also have our next batch, Bhagavad Gita, and let's all chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. The point is, we are coming up with February batches. I'm sharing the stuff with you, the posters. I request you to post in all the groups. Yes, Anuja, I'm not going to leave you without telling level 2. Level 2, I'm going to take you through level 2 right now, and let me just tell you how to go about. So this is school, and level 2 is also very important. Level 2, we are having a class where we will have 18 chapters in about 18 weeks, which will only be in the weekend, right? So typically it will be 3 modules, 6 plus 6 plus 6, Saturday 1.5 hour, Sunday 1.5 hour. We have 8 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, or you also have Monday, Tuesday, morning 6 a.m. I am taking Monday, Tuesday. I know that message will come. That's why I'm telling you Monday, Tuesday morning, I take. But they're all very good teachers. You can get into it. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So here, everything is discussed in detail. It's only weekly class. Whatever you had now is a trailer. So I just want all of you all to enroll, and that's why I'm showing you everything. Can you see the screen? And if you all want to register, you can register right. Not if you want to, I would want you to rather go to register and understanding Gita level 2. Okay. This talks about your name, your WhatsApp number. Please give your correct WhatsApp number, email ID. There are multiple options. You can say adults above, and I'm taking only adult batch. So you please click youth batch and choose the age group 16 to 25, your youth. Read all this. It is requested that you will chant one round because you can get closer to Krishna and you will be able to understand. Select your language. Timing is very clearly given. Saturday, Sunday, 8 p.m. Youth also 8 p.m. is there. So you can, select select this one and then go ahead and submit, and then you will automatically get this one. Is that fine?
Yes.
So, of course, I'm just highlighting only this, but then this is all I wanted to share with you all. We also have adult 6 a.m. batch. So that also we'll have it updated. I'm just surprised why it's not showing up. So we'll have it done, right? So that's it. So please have it. I want each one of you to register and confirm to me tomorrow when we are having the last class. And tomorrow bring a pen and a pencil. It is not a test. It is not an exam, but it's a nice evaluation of ourselves. So please come with a paper pen. And also I have one request. I want each one of you to finish registration for level 2, right? And confirm to me tomorrow when you're done. So if you still have a problem, we'll sit up and do the registration together. Yes, unfortunately, this drawing competition is only for kids, but assignments will be there for us also. When we are doing the 18, now also you should be doing your quiz, right? You would have done your quiz already. If you have not, please do, because you need a certificate. And level 2, you have after every 6 module, you have an assignment test, and you have regular assignments and you also have tests. So to understand, and then you have a level 3. So it's a continuous journey, and I am definitely looking forward for this entire team who's here. Munmun, you have to confirm, Rishabh, Shreya, Anusha, and if anybody is in, okay, Dikshita, and I also want, I hope I didn't miss out any name, and our Chatterjee also. If someone is in touch with Chatterjee, please inform him, and we will have this done. Is that fine?
Yes.
Are there any other doubts? Okay, I saw a couple of messages. Okay, I've told you, yeah, Anuja, have I gone abroad? Yes, I have gone abroad, quite a few places. I've traveled on work. So most of the time when you go abroad, most places, you know, are a little bland, especially the Europe is all bland food. You know? So you get used to that. Hare Krishna. So what else? Is there any other doubts? Otherwise, I'm going to request Vijay Kumari Mataji to do the chanting today.
Yes, Mataji.
One full round. Is there any other doubts?
No.
Rishabh, don't wait for the next batch, because if you wait for the next batch, you'll never enroll. By the time you enroll itself, it will take 2 weeks for you to get added and all that for the class to start. Yeah. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very funny. Which are the places have I gone? Okay. First side of the question. I've been in a lot of places. I've been to America, Australia, Andaman, Sri Lanka, Dubai, Bangkok, Germany, France, Scotland. What did I tell? Africa. So then what else? Seychelles. Quite a few places. China. Now they will not know. Sometime back I went. So I think people will throw stones if I tell now that name, but still, that was earlier. And what else? A few more places. That's what I remember. I told Belgium also, right? Yeah, and a few more places here and there. Russia also. So all the to-do countries, not to-do countries, everywhere. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Yeah, thanks, Anuja. Hare Krishna. Yes. So anything else? If there's nothing, I'm going to mute myself for the chanting time. Hare Krishna. And thank you so much for all your prayers. I am now COVID negative, perfectly fine. And thanks to each one of you all for wishing me and for praying and for staying with me and tolerating me in the tough times when I could not even talk or when I couldn't even do. And thank you, Vijay Kumari Mataji, for coming all the time for help when I couldn't even speak. Hare Krishna.
It's my pleasure, Mataji.
Yeah, and thank you so much. And Anuja, thank you so much. Your voice is so clear when you read. And I want each one of you all to read. And told me here that the English is not good. I'm going to take 1 minute before chanting to explain this. So I don't read Tamil well. No, actually, I don't read Tamil. My mother tongue is Telugu. So obviously, you know, it will have an accent when I speak Tamil. And it was my first batch. I was not a teacher. I was supporting a teacher who was actually a class student. She had no one for help. So I just said, I will join. And I was doing the admin work, you know, just forward a message or this. So on the second day, we had Tamil professors in the class, and you know how the professors will be, right? They are very flamboyant and very good in the language. She also incidentally was not a Tamilian, she was a Telugu, and her Tamil improved a lot now. Mine has not. But you know, they first time they told, you know, that why are you even taking a class? You know, can't even speak well, right? And she was very upset, you know, she just didn't know how to handle. And she was very upset, and but she did manage it. She said, yes, I'm so sorry, Prabhuji, and all. So she was on and on. I was quiet. After some time, I told Prabhu, do one thing. Why don't you learn Bhagavad Gita and come this side, and we both will walk off to Telugu, because we are here because we do not have Tamil people to do, and I'm talking about almost a year, exactly a year, it was Jan 2020. And also, thankfully, Krishna, like someone told, right, give me memory. So gave me a little bit of memory to refer Canto 1, chapter 8 of Bhagavatam, where Kunti clearly in the 18-19 chapter that language is not important for communication. For that matter, if language is important, Krishna has spoken to Arjuna in Sanskrit. None of us, I don't know Sanskrit, I don't know how many of you all will know, none of us are even eligible to open Bhagavad Gita if Sanskrit is a mandate, right? And to learn the grammar of Sanskrit, it takes 11 years. Okay. So we have to learn 11 years of Sanskrit and then open Bhagavad Gita. We will give up somewhere, right? So language is communication. I'm telling this particularly without knowing the name. So anyone who feels this is not language class or a language competition. It is just how one can convey, right? And even all those who are really good in language, whether it's Anuja or whether it's me or anyone, you'll see some words we also fumble, right? It's because the words are new, right? It's not because so probably we fumble in one word, you may fumble in 2 words, somebody else may fumble in 3 words, but doesn't matter, right? Journey of Krishna consciousness, and journey we only see Krishna as a mirror reflection, right? Which you can see in my visuals now. And our aim is to go to Goloka and be together. So don't bother about language. English is language which people just brought and taught, right? So, and I don't bother about language, and I feel people who talk can tell, no, I had really a bad experience in Tamil. So I continue with our Tamil class. And today, if she doesn't come, I'm going to do a Tamil presentation of the same thing. Hopefully with Vijay Kumari Mataji, who's going to read it for me. People will be criticizing. Rishabh, I would love to. I've never been to Lucknow. I've heard about it. Definitely, we will all stay in touch. We are also planning to organize a lot of tours. We had Mayapur. We were supposed to have Vrindavan. We are actually planning a youth tour, which we had suggested to Prabhu, telling that give us a cost-effective tour. Pocket money, it pinches, right? So he said, organize. So there is something, we will all go. I will also join. So we'll have a lot of fun. Yeah. So thank you so much. And Hare Krishna all. And back to chanting. Chanting Vijay Kumari Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maganityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama